So I'm Segolène Aymé. I'm medical director at INSERM, and I was trained as a medical geneticist, and have also a background in public health and epidemiology. Let's say during many years I worked as a researcher before I established Orphanet 13 years ago. And when I was a researcher, I used to work on new syndromes, on identification of new entities, and let's say working on definition of these entities. And at that time, when I was very young, my almost first experience was meeting a patient organization in Canada with Williams syndrome. And at that time, I had never been exposed to such a group because it was uncommon in Europe. And I discovered that these parents were extremely open to collaboration with researchers. And for me, it was totally new, and it has really impressed me a lot. And it's really I think, the background of why I, after that, didn't stop to work with patient families and patient representatives. But as Orphanet, I could say that I have enough experience now to see that most of the successful network in research, which were established this past 10, 15 years, were almost always established thanks to the effort of patient organizations. Because, of course, researchers want to collaborate, but they have to be a bit pushed in that direction because competition is everywhere. And only patients and patient organizations can convince them that they should a bit forget about just competing, but also they should work together. So I think that I can say that patient organizations have played a major role in organizing, let's say, the collaboration at European level. I do not work anymore in research, so I cannot speak about my personal experience, but I can testify that this is happening. I think that the patient organization can play now a major role in clinical research by, let's say, helping to collect data and also, let's say, shaping the way the data which are collected are defined, because usually they have another view on their disease, something which is not close to the mind of the researchers. And so it obviously can help a lot if in the research projects the patients were involved in the definition of what should be collected and what are the final research questions that the researchers should address. So I believe that it's in the interest even of the researchers as well to really work with patients' organization when it comes to the stage that's clinical research. I maybe have the idea that patients should get involved in reporting facts on their diseases, because if you look back at the way discoveries are made, usually they always come from what we call spontaneous notifications by, let's say, experts. Suddenly a physician is open-minded enough to notice that something is not fitting with the usual way the doctors look at the disease and so on, and start to think that maybe there is a new avenue for explaining the disease or understanding its natural course and so on. And these last years I have noticed that thanks to patient organizations sometimes, because a lot of patients meet and discuss, they are able to identify new facts that have never been noticed before. And I have plenty of examples of that. So I believe that we should try to open a door to patients, for them to be able to report, when they notice something which seems strange or unusual or not known yet, about their disease, because these are potential research questions which would be then investigated. So this would be a very original way to involve patients.